list. Okay.
I think you can if you have the money. My point is not about not having the habit. It's about, that's why I say it's not, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying the question is, if you have the money, can you do that? Yes, I can. But as it is now, I don't do that because I don't have the money.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. I was just trying to establish, because remember, we're talking about budgeting. Yeah. So those are some of the things that affect our budgeting.
And you are right.
Where you're supposed to be disciplined to stick to your budget. If you are going to grow your finances, you have to have that discipline that whatever you have on your list, whether it's 20 rands you're budgeting, whether it's 100 rands you're budgeting, you cannot, if you're a habitual spender, if you have the challenge of retail therapy, where you buy to feel good, because you said you buy, then you will not be able to achieve the financial.
Especially women, when you go to buy with your children, the children will say, but you said you are buying only bread, and then you buy cooking oil. Most women do that. They buy things, but the things they buy are also needed. You go in, you say, okay, I'm going to buy eggs. And then you realize, I don't have onions.
Yes.
Then you buy the onions. I don't have milk. Because and that's exactly what you said. Write the list. Maybe on your corner somewhere, something is finished. Write it there so that when you have to go, you don't remember when you're in the shop. Because me, I do it. I find myself, I went to buy eggs. Then I realize, even onions. And then I pick them. But again, it's within my budget because I can't take cold drink because that is a luxury. But the needs, those ones I do because I realize, and that is a bad habit. You must, as you go on, write on the wall or a piece of paper. I put it. If you have a fridge, not everybody has that. Put it there and say, toilet paper is finished. Write it. Or I need to buy this. So when you go, by the time you go, the list is ready.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think the emphasis here, we're just showing that the importance of budgeting. And I was going to say, if it is not budgeted for, don't buy it. We must learn to live within our means, of which I think from what I have observed, most of you, I think you try to live within your means. Though also, I want to also to challenge you that let's not have the mentality that it's not there. Because already we are having a scarce mentality. We must have an abundance mentality, where we are striving to get to the place where we can fend for our children. We can also have other things. Let's have that growth mentality and not be satisfied with where we are, that we can't even afford to maybe to buy groceries, 1,000 groceries because the money is there. Because the whole idea is for us to grow, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, to grow from where we are.
Sorry, can I ask something?
Yes.
I struggled with that finance personally, and I told you where it is rooted, from where being poor as a child and what. How do you develop that growth mentality to a point? How do you start? I know you say you think you have money, but the reality is not. I've tried it, but what can you advise that maybe start thinking this is where you must start? Start thinking, okay, how do you imagine it? Because you see, the reality is telling you, you don't have a job, you don't have money. How do you help yourself so that you start getting into that, even if you don't have, so that you develop the growth mentality? Especially financially.
Yes.
For me, I'm talking from my experience.
Yeah, someone once said, your background when you are below 30 or maybe even 20. After that, you own your future. You own yourself. So you have to make a decision As much as you grew up in a poverty mentality, as much as you came from a war zone where everything maybe was destroyed and everything, you have to make a decision. Everyone you see, they have to make a decision that I'm going to be financially literate, isn't it? It starts from the knowledge. Then you start how, if you have got a business, like she has a business, she has to learn how to grow that business. Because from what I'm understanding, for her it's just another business where she can buy, maybe she does buying and selling, she goes buy for 5 rands, she budgets for that, she doesn't have a system. So you have to learn, how do I put systems so that when I make the money, I can trace, so that I'm not eating into the money. So it's that decision that with some, you have to do affirmations.
Affirmations.
Yes, you have to do affirmations, and you tell yourself, affirmations help change your mindset. Affirmations help you to see yourself differently. So when you're dealing with the backgrounds, the past, you have to decide, where do you want to go? See where you want to go and work towards going there, because you cannot go where you don't know. So you have to start having the vision. If you are a business, maybe you sell clothes, you see yourself having a fortune, isn't it? And when you're seeing the fortune, then you start working towards going to get a fortune. And it starts with the education. It starts with affirmations. It starts with discipline. It starts with who is your mentor. Look for a mentor, someone who is already there, someone who is achieving that which you want to achieve. If it's finances, who can you learn with financially where you want to be?
I think also, instead of saying I don't have, you speak in the positive.
Yes.
I have this. I'm gonna get, and you start telling yourself, I listened to something this morning, and the father was telling the children, actually that was a powerful video. I am enough. I am this. I am this. What is this? And the children were repeating, was driving. And that, the more you repeat something, the more it becomes reality.
Yes, and
you are what you think of all day long. If you think I'm poor, it manifests, and you become actually poorer than you are. So you avoid saying, I don't have this. You say, there has to be a way of getting this.
yes, so
Those are the affirmations she's talking about.
yes. Yes, wanted to say something?
Yes, so just to your point, I just didn't get your name, ma'am.
Irene.
Dr. Dr. Irene. So with what you're saying, it touches what Tavaza was responding to, which is financial habits. So for example, we have the story of the talents in the Bible, where each were given a certain amount of coins, but it's more, what did they do with the coins that were given to them? So even if you were given 1 rand, that's a blessing from the Lord. How can you multiply that 1 rand? Because the truth is, if you can't multiply it and I give you 1 million, you'll be back to 1 rand, because you don't have the financial habit to figure out that I've been blessed with 1 rand. How can I add to that 1 rand? And then if I can continue this for a whole year, at the end of the year, I can have a lot. But it all goes down to the financial habits, which I believe Tavaza is helping us with right now.
Okay. So thank you for that. Before I give you like a template of how to budget, I'm just going to say, to manage your finances effectively, you need to learn how to budget. Budgeting does not make you rich. It will help you control your finances. So if you learn how to budget, you are a step further than you were, because then you know you're putting your finances in front of you, so that you see how, when you know how to budget, you're telling your money where to go. You're telling your money how to work for you. That's why we're talking about impulse buying. They're talking about habitual therapy, habitual spending. Because when you don't have control over your finances, that's how you end up. Your money will have control over you. So we want to get to a place where your money doesn't have control. Some people say the month is longer than the money. So you don't want to get to that place. And budgeting also helps you to manage your financial goals. Because you can write all the goals that you can, but if you can't follow through the goals, then it's to no avail. So that budgeting, whenever you look at it and you are not meeting the budget, then that also comes the discipline. When you look at yourself, why am I not following through my budget? Then maybe it comes back to the background issues, your attitude towards money, which you need to continuously work towards to change your mindset. So when you've mastered the budgeting, you can that's the first step for you to go to financial freedom. And so a budget is just a tool to allocate your resources, as I said, and to manage your costs and to manage the performance of your money. So that's why we're encouraging you, because you cannot be financially intelligent when you cannot allocate your resources, when you cannot manage the performance of your money. I like the way she's nodding. She's really with me. So I'm just going to, before I give you the template on how to budget. I see no one is writing, so I'm hoping. Oh yes, thank you. I'm just going to first define passive income, because I'm going to mention it in the budgeting. Does anyone know what passive income is? Oh, we are not there. She is there. Yeah.
It's like a gift money from somebody.
A gift money from someone. Not really.
It's when you maybe made some investment, but something keeps coming that
Yes.
you didn't.
Okay.
It's not monthly. It's not there, but you maybe.
It can be monthly.
Yeah, you planted
Yes.
your avocado tree, for argument's sake. Every year it brings you what? Avocado. So
Yes.
you can sell it. That is something which is, it will keep coming. And it can be monthly, as you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to mention that because I was going so yeah, I say passive income is money earned with minimal ongoing effort. Like she said, if you have planted your avocado, it's grown. So every season for avocados, you give the fruits.
No,
So it normally
it is profit in there.
normally from investments. I'm going to talk a bit about investments. So it could be rental properties.
Yes.
Or it could be intellectual properties, like you write a book once, but then it keeps on coming. So we understand.
Yes.
Okay, Mama, do you
It's not
understand?
what you have to do immediately.
It's not the money that you get from.
It comes when you
I-
start working.
It's not money that you get from like yourself in your business. You have to wake up. If you don't go to the market, you don't make money. So passive income, you can be sleeping and you're making that money because you've already done the job. Or you may need to upgrading, keep on doing some things, but it's not the hard work that you did initially. So I'm going to give a template. This template was done by my husband. He's a financial coach. So when you're doing a budget, you start with your income. So your income is the salary. Remember I asked you who gets money from your husband. So that could be your income, where your husband gives you maybe 1,000 every month. That's your income. It could be your passive income. That's why I first defined what passive income is. So you first start with your income. How do you get your money? So you must first know your income. Then from there you write your expenses. So with the expenses, you use what we call Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Don't worry if it sounds. It's just someone who came up with how to classify our needs. So it starts with physiological needs. physiological needs are our everyday needs. Your shelter, your accommodation, your rent, your transport if you have to go from one place to another. Maybe like Mama has a business, maybe she has to go to Joburg. Those are your transport needs, your clothing needs, your education, like the basic needs, the things that you need to survive. It's not a luxury. So you have on your list. So we started with the income, then now we have your expenses. So your expenses, we started with physiological. Those the everyday, the necessity. Because if you are going to manage your finances, just a side note, you need to differentiate between your needs and your wants. That also helps you even like when you go for the groceries to the shop. The reason why you won't do impulsive buying is because you know your needs and your wants. Normally when you do impulsive buying, we are buying wants, things that are not really necessary, things that we can do without. Yes, so I also said when you have a challenge of impulsive buying, ask yourself that, can this thing wait for 24 hours? If something can wait for 24 hours, it's not a need. It's not urgent. So you can do without it. That will also help you stick with your budget. So after the physiological needs, like I explained, does anyone not understand what physiological? It's just a big word, but basically they're talking about your transport, accommodation, clothing, food, the things that you need every day. Are we together?
Yes.
Great. Then you have your safety needs. Your safety needs are your medical aid, if you have one, your insurance, your security costs. Security costs could be where you stay. Sometimes you have to pay security, or maybe if you have a car, you have insurance. So your data, freedom expenses. Then we have love and belonging expenses. So you're basically, what I'm just doing, I'm just classifying your expenses. Is that simple enough?
Yes.
Yes. So those are your expenses. So your love and belonging needs would be like your family commitments. Those things that you do for love, for those people you love. Maybe put it that way. And it could be gifts. You're talking about a gift. The gift that you buy for each other, birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, and those things. Then entertainment. If you have entertainment on your home, we kind of assume that people don't do entertainment. Sometimes even when things are hard, maybe you find yourself going for the soccer, you find yourself going for the movies, and you're just using the bare minimum. Yes, maybe data. I think data also, because many people use data on their phone, so it can go under that expense.
Could also be a need, but how much do you stretch it?
Yes, if it's TikTok, then maybe it's not a need. And things like offerings. Then there are also esteem needs. I think from what we discussed, maybe we may not be there, but because we want to grow financially, one day we'll get there, isn't it? Yeah, where you have maybe personal development, subscriptions, Netflix subscriptions, those things that you just do for. You can do without them.
That's a need.
You can do without them, but you just do it for your esteem, just for the. Then there are self-actualization needs. Those needs where you want, you've done everything, you just want to see the world. Isn't it one, we're getting there, isn't it? Yeah, we're getting there when we're financially. So I just gave you a template. But basically what I'm saying, you have to start with your income. Whatever your income is, then you list your expenses. Your expenses, as we're mentioning, the food, the accommodation, the traveling, the education, the data, your clothing, your hair. Yeah. So you cannot budget for maybe a human hair that's 9,000, and your income is 500, isn't it? Yeah. So it helps you to keep within your means, and I encourage you that you have maybe where you can trace your expenses, because that way it helps you to see whether you're making progress. If you're buying maybe hairpiece for 500 and it's affecting your budget, next month when you can then reduce, you make it 200. If it works for you, then stick to the 150, 200 hairpiece. It means you maybe then you're not yet able to buy the 500 hairpiece, isn't it? Because when you do your budget, you must, the idea is for you to remain with some money in the pocket, isn't it? So you also budget for the savings. We're still going to get there. But you have some money that you remain with. So as I said again, if it's not budgeted for, well, what do? Yes, we don't buy it, no matter how our heart is beating. Yes, if it can wait for 24 hours, it means it's not important. Yes, so I was going to just share some tips to manage debt. One of the tips is avoid buying daily groceries or consumables using debt. You know, there are some people who can borrow to buy salt, they buy to borrow. Try to avoid using debt. If you can just use your money that you have and cash, just use cash than to borrow because normally when you use the salt, you no longer have the drive to pay back, isn't it? Yeah. So don't borrow for groceries. Pay debts on time. Yeah. It also helps with your financial growth. If you owe somebody, pay on time. Avoid unnecessary interest. You know, sometimes when you're financially challenged, you are tempted to go to the mashonista. What do you call them? Yes. And you know those machonistas, they make money from interest. So if you can avoid the machonistas at all costs, avoid them, so that you don't lead to the money. Sorry, not lead to. Remember, we are going there where we have lots of money. Yeah, so we don't want to give our money to the machonistas. Yes, let's live with that within our means. They never pay debt with another debt. Yeah. You know, there are some people who they borrow sister to pay sister, then they borrow. So you're just building up on debt. So avoid paying debt using debt. Is there anyone here with a credit card? No, okay. So don't borrow from one person to the other. You know, there are some people who are even known at church that when you see that sister greeting you, they are borrowing. Don't have that reputation. Then consolidate your debt. If you have debts, consolidate them, or rather, the easier way is to start paying the smaller debts, and you go to the bigger debts. That will help you because you also feel you're making progress. So be deliberate about paying your debts. Don't be that person when people see you, they run away because you haven't been paying back. And to manage relationships also, avoid borrowing from family, from friends, because when you don't pay back, then there's a problem. Then I'm going to go to saving and investing. I was also asked to talk about financial risks. So financial risk is what you go through. A risk is something that you cannot foresee, or something that that happens sometimes out of your control. Is that simple enough? Okay, I can give an example of a financial risk. you're fired today. All of a sudden, you no longer have your salary. That's a financial risk. You wake up without money. Or you were you were employed, then you decide to be an entrepreneur. And because you've decided to be an entrepreneur, you have challenges. Your people don't pay you on time. You're selling and no one is coming to buy. So before you started the business, you were hoping that you would get money on a monthly basis. Now that money is no longer there. So you've taken a risk. Now you're no longer going to get that money. You can have, I spoke about being retrenched, or you can have health challenges. Sometimes you get sick and the bills are too high and you lose all the money. You've been in, maybe you're taking care of a parent, a child who is sick. So that's also a financial risk, where you lose money, but things that are beyond you. Then we also death of a spouse. There are many people who have lost a spouse, and because they were the sole breadwinner, they went down. So that's also a financial risk, where you lose your source of income. Yes, even divorce. And even if economy changes, we're talking about the challenge that you have in the DRC, where you wake up and the bank is closed, so you lose your money. Yeah, so that's also a financial risk. So I want to talk about saving. The difference is about saving, between saving and investing. Saving, putting your money in a bank is saving, it's not investing. If you're just putting it in the normal bank account. When you're investing, starts with a plan. You have to have a plan. And why are you investing? Why are you putting that money in shares? Because when you have got a plan, it's easier to follow through. So with investing, you need to be educated. You don't invest based on what your friend has told you. There are so many investments routes. Someone can tell you that they're investing in cryptocurrency, but if you don't know cryptocurrencies, don't invest, because everyone is saying that's where the money is. So you need to research, you need to be educated. So the more financial education you have, the better decisions that you make. So I can also refer you to, if you want to know more, we have some videos on our YouTube account that was worth fighting for. So if you go there, you learn more about. So I was also going to talk about. We spoke about financial risk. So with investment, your success in investment depends on your risk appetite. So what is risk appetite? There are different types of risks. Someone can be risk averse. When you're risk averse, don't worry, it's not that complicated. When you're risk averse, you're someone who wants security. If you're someone who doesn't want to lose money, you're risk averse. If you're someone who doesn't mind losing money, because when you invest some money, there's a potential of losing money. So you understand where I'm coming by talking about risk averse, risk. So if you're someone who is a risk taker, it also determines where you invest. Then there's someone just risk indifferent. You're in between. So when this risk appetite normally affects your age. If you're about to retire, normally they encourage you not to take, not to be a risk taker. You know, when you're about to retire, but your time is now limited, so you have to be a risk taker. But when you are young, you can be risk averse because you have all the time to build on your investment portfolio. So normally, those who are financially intelligent, they take calculated risks. The rich guys, they take calculated risks. So you find they invest lots of money in some assets that are scary, but normally they've taken some calculated. So if you're going to do some investment of some sort, you need to be financially educated. You need to do a lot of research. We don't invest because our neighbor has invested in that.
Sorry, I just want to ask, those are non-investments.
Yes.
But like we said, you have these investments which are not planned. You plan with your husband, all those things. How do you manage those risks? Because then one day, it's God, you are separate, or he dies, or you divorced, and you are left with this burden, or your partner decides to take everything. So, would you advise somebody that if you are in a marriage, how do you think of this? Because that's investment. You are investing in your future, your children, your family. And those are investments we never talk about. And the money, yes, it's clear, you are taking your money. Now you have lived with this person 10 years, 20 years, and then the person leaves, or the family comes and the person dies. Those, how do you know, it's one of those things which are real, but we can't see them. Because you mentioned it, that's why I brought it.
Yes.
That you can invest, you can lose somebody, or you can, because retirement is, you know, growing old. But now with this one, a lot of women, they go through that. You think that now we have 4 children and 3 children, and we have a marriage, we can take care of these kids. The next time you are alone, you must take care of these kids.
Normally, those extreme issues, you have to have insurance. Sometimes we take insurance for granted, but you need insurance. You need to sit down with your husband, especially with women. We are so trusting. We don't even ask our husbands whether there's an insurance somewhere and how they are managing the resources. So insurance is another way to mitigate that risk. Where you sit down with a financial planner, you tell them your situation, then they tell you exactly what insurance works or what plan to pursue, so that you manage those risks. Of course, not every risk can be mitigated, but that which we can, we need to mitigate. Whatever we need knowledge about, but what makes people not to mitigate this, sometimes just as women, we're just trusting. We sit there, everything is in the hands of the husband. And when he dies or he marries another woman, you're left. That's why you also need to be financially independent as a woman. That's why you also need to learn to save. If your husband allows you, also have your own investments where you manage and you grow your own money, isn't it? So it's, investors, they have 3 objectives: is to beat the cost, inflation, and I'm not trying to just. So like if you put your money in the bank, it doesn't give you returns that are above inflation. So that's why we need to invest. And invest, there's some assets that you invest in, like shares. But as I said, you cannot invest in shares when you're not knowledgeable, when you have not researched. And I refer you to a website. You can, it's www.psg.co.za. Normally with these companies, they teach you. They can even give you some of the, they can teach you how to do it. So but you need to be prepared to learn. Then also, like Alan Gray. Alan Gray, you don't do it for yourself. PSG, you manage your own portfolio. But Alan Gray, you just put money. They can, they have minimum, it's not free. So when you're investing, I was going to talk about it. When you're investing, you need to also know, because they take fees. They're not charity organizations. They take some monthly fees. So whenever you're investing, they give you like Alan Gray, they give you a minimum. You can invest 1,000 minimum every month. And so you create your portfolio every month you put 1,000. I think they also allow even 500, I'm not sure, but the 1,000 going forward. So you can put 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, but they manage it for you. But the good thing is with Alan Gray, if there is an emergency, you can withdraw. You can withdraw, but it's not immediate withdrawal. It can take a few 2 days or something. But then your money will be there, and they manage it across the different mutual funds. So with PSG, you do it for yourself. Then we spoke about investing in properties. Maybe if you don't have lots of money, with Easy Equities, there's also a platform, Easy Equities. With Easy Equities, they allow you to invest in IPOs. IPO is just like a company that is private that now wants to be public. So what they do, they invite us, the public, to buy into their shares. So what they do on Easy Equities, they allow the public, like maybe there's a property in Rosebank. They allow you can even put 100 rands. You can even put 200 rands. But then later you get some rental income. But if you put 100 rands, I'm sure you're not expecting 100 rands. Yes, you also get. So the more you put, the more you get. So you cannot say I cannot invest in property. That's another way of investing in property. So you can, if you want the website, you can talk to me after. And most successful investors, they invest in their own business. Like you have a business, when it grows, instead of maybe you can plow back in your business because you are in control. When you put your money in PSG, you don't have the control. They tell you have shares from FNB, but if FNB closes, you also lose your money. So you are not in control. So yeah, those were I just gave an overview.
And also, if somebody doesn't have much money to invest in those buying shares and what, you can start small in the bank and open a fixed deposit or something like that.
Yes,
savings, and then you put in security.
Yes, I was going to touch on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you finished investing.
I was talking about saving and investment. So yeah, with saving, you also need to, as she's spoken, you can open a fixed deposit. So fixed deposit, you put a certain amount of money. It can be a bank. There are also some non-financial institutions that also, but it's for a certain period of time before you withdraw the money. And it comes with some return. Then also another way is you can also have an emergency account. Emergency account, like with Capitec, they have a main account and emergency account. How many of us have a Capitec account? You have a Capitec. Yes, you can check. So with the emergency account, what you do, you put money which you're not going to touch. Then you have money in your savings account. Normally they say you have to have at least 3 months amount there. But since most of us have no salaries, so maybe that does not apply. But what you can do, you can just start wherever you are.
Yeah.
You can just put 150 every month, 500 every month in your emergency account. And before you know it, you have money, you have an amount of money that if there's an emergency, you have money to get to fall back off, isn't it? Yeah. So where I was, I also just wrote a list here, just a challenge for you, and I said, what percentage are you going to allocate to your finances? So it's a challenge to you. We've spoken about needs, the amount that you get. How much, maybe percentage is too mathematical. You just need to come up with an amount. Every month, how much do I put for my needs? how much do I put for my wants? We differentiated wants and needs, isn't it? Yeah. How much am I going to put for my savings? We've explained in savings. And so you can have money that you put in a bank account, or I think they were going to do a last exercise. They just told me it's a jar for savings. So what I'm going to do for that exercise, well, I'm going to ask you what's your goal, one goal. They say 3 goals, so we can just say one goal before I sit down. What your financial goal, how we are going to work on the jar, isn't it? Just so that we know at least we have learned. I think I was just saying some financial terms there, and I need to know that we are taking away something, isn't it? Yes. So how much you're going to put in there? With investments, first learn, first go and research. If you're going to go and sit with a financial planner, look for a financial planner who will take you through. If you are going to visit our website, there are many videos there on investments and savings and financial. So it's, like I said again, it's called The Dream That Has Led Fighting. It's on YouTube. Then tithe, those who go to church, you may need to plan. How much am I going to pay? 10%. How much am I going to give? Sometimes if we have a kind heart, we find ourselves taking from our savings and we are giving people. So instead of taking from your savings, you need to plan. If someone comes and they have a need and it's not within your planning, you apologize. Then you don't take from your savings. Then you are left with nothing because you have a good heart. You give, but from what you've planned for. So yeah. So the next one was the money jar challenge. Ma'am Fatima, how are we doing the money jar challenge? Do they have the jars?
No, they just write it down.
Okay, so she says we are going to write down. So we maybe just are there any those want to just share with us their goals? Maybe from our as we were discussing, where you thought, okay, I want to do this. Is there anyone? As we were discussing, anyone who was thinking, okay, me, I want to save. You want to share. It doesn't have to be the real amount. You can say 500 now, then when you go home, you save like 10,000. Mama in the back, what is your goal? Financial goal, just one. When you leave here, what are you going to leave? What is going to be your goal? Oh, you don't know what a goal is. Should I explain what a goal is? Okay. A goal is what you are going to do. Like, isn't it? We're talking about savings. Do you now know what saving is? You now know. Yeah. So your goal would be from August, I'm going to save 100 rands. And going forward, every month I put aside 100 rands. That's what they're talking about, money jar challenge, where you put 100 rands every month, or 50 rands in a jar, and that money you don't touch. Are we now clear with the goals? Another person with another goal? I'm just getting 2, then I'm done. What's going to be your goal, Mama? You still need to think about it. You still need to think about it. And Mama, any goal, financial goal? But if you don't have goals, then you are not going to do the manager, isn't it? Well, that's why they asked me to do the financial thing. They wanted you to go away with goals. Reduce maybe to say now I'll be using only 1,000, so that you don't use all your savings. But remember, you're looking for opportunities, and you don't know when the opportunities will come. So you're managing it. Instead of using 1,000 per month, you reduce. Downgrading is not easy, but that's also how we manage risks. You downgrade. Now instead of using 1,000, use 500. Then you still maintain. It's not, downgrading is not easy, but that's how we manage our finances. It's for a period. It's not for a lifetime, is it? Isn't it? You're looking for the opportunities.
Yeah.
And you can also maybe invest that, take some amount from what you've saved, invest in some business that you know will work.
And this time in business is
Yeah,
not
it's
easy.
a crisis.
It's not easy.
This is like COVID, eh? So when there's COVID, what do you do?
I can
It's a
tell you
crisis.
that
They're trying to say that they have a
beside my
crisis.
work, sometimes I was saving some things. You see?
Now you come.
Let me give you example. Like I was selling for perfumes. End of the month, other people are coming. I need 5 bottles of perfumes. I need 3. I need 4. For now, no one is coming.
No one.
That's the crisis. They are saying, how do you manage the crisis? They are not saying there's
That's why I say.
But we spoke about mentality. From what I'm hearing, you are speaking from a mentality where it's impossible.
No.
Yes, because if you're saying
it's not impossible.
yes, if it's not impossible, then we find ways. That's what entrepreneurship is. It's finding ways to work around it. If the people who are buying perfume are not coming, what other good can I invest in? What other product can I come up with? What other marketing? You have to look, to being an entrepreneur, you have to look for a market.
Sorry.
Yes.
I need to give some example. Me, I have a
Okay.
restaurant.
Maybe can we do this? Those who have questions, maybe you can see me after.
Okay.
I think that's fair enough.
Yes.
So that we don't buy everyone's time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.